Okay, friends, I just wanted to let you know what I'll be doing next since my pizza dough is all done. I have my baking steel. I'll be putting that on the top. I'll be moving the uh, rack in the oven to the top position, and I'll be putting this on. And I use it for sourdough breads, any kind of form, like multigrain seeded breads, any freeform breads, and pizzas. So it's not really a pizza steel, but it does kind of replace the need for a stone, which I used to use. The stone I found in a place that makes graveyards, headstones, a piece of travertine. I used that. It was about 3/4 inch thick. And after, I don't know, a year's use, the heat, which when it's on broil, because that's what I'm going to do, did crack the travertine. So I got this baking steel, which is really good. But I think it's an 1/8 of an inch solid steel. It's been seasoned. I didn't, I haven't kept the bottom side, but it doesn't matter because the pizzas will go on with the parchment that they're made on, and they won't touch this, but it's important to keep it seasoned. I think you can use this. I can use if you have cake sheet pans or cookie pans, baking pans that are thick, I think you could use those too. But like I said, I'm going to set this to broil when I make them. It takes about 5 minutes to make a pizza. I have all my ingredients here. First, I have, not all of them, I have half my ingredients here. I gotta make some marinara tonight. So that'll be easy. Just garlic, salt, pepper, and tomatoes. Cook down. Add in some fresh basil at the end. That's gonna happen. Okay, friends, this is the deal with the pizza. So the dough, this has raised and tripled in volume, and it's got lots of bubbles and everything. We're going to punch that down, and I'll show you how that works later. There's a few tricks I want to show you first. I put the oven on to help this rise during the 45-minute rise. It literally took me 5 to 10 minutes to mix the components of the dough. So you really don't actually need to do it in advance and freeze it, or sorry, refrigerate it. In fact, I think I overproved it by refrigerating it for more than 8 hours last night, and some of the crust came out flat. And when you were pulling the dough, you could see like little kind of scar marks of where the gases were releasing, that I overproved it. So I feel like you can do this all in one go without refrigerating. But if you do refrigerate the dough, don't let it be there 12 or 14 hours like I did. Okay, so the oven was on to 350 for the last hour or so, and that helped the temperature in here, allowed the dough to rise. Now I've turned, and by the way, I have my baking steel in there on the top level, and all of this is all contributing to the perfect pizza. For instance, that steel heated up for an hour at 350. I've turned it up to 425, and while we get ourselves organized, and the steel will get even more hot, and that's important, and it does take time. So now I'm going to presume I'm making 4 medium pizzas, and so I'm going to get the parchment out and make 4 pieces of parchment. large enough to cover my, okay, so I don't have a pizza peel. You know, those things you see when you go to the pizzeria with the long arms and the flat base and they shove it into the wood-fired oven. Don't have that, reason being I don't really make pizzas very often. But the effect is going to, the effect I want is that kind of rustic. You know, just shove it in there with the coals. And that's why we're going to heat the steel, baking steel, and we're to like as hot as they can get before the oven shuts itself off as in an emergency. And I don't have a pizza steel, so I'm using this cookie sheet device to shove the pizza onto the steel. And the pizzas are going to be made on parchment. So this video is going to be done in a few stages because I'm making 4 different pizzas with all my goodies. So one of the things I want to show you, so there's 4 pieces of parchment on my improvised peel, which is really a cookie sheet thing. And like I said in the previous video, if you don't have a pizza steel, you could use a very thick baking tray. And most really good baking trays are thick. But they have a lip and it's hard to get them in and out. So, and also I use the baking steel for breads and for lots of things. Anyway, so put this aside. We're going to put some flour on here. And we're going to punch down the dough. Not too much. Okay, save some for the parchment. Now we're gonna, actually I don't know if I will use it on the parchment. I did last night, but I'm not sure about it. So, okay, so we have our really gorgeous dough with some olive oil on. And I'm punching down and patting it down. You're gonna punch it down. You don't have to be delicate. But I've decided to, where's my, yes. I'm just like, so for instance, you could cut this in half and make a nice, nice kind of large pizzas, and then you could use the whole one and make, well, quite large, maybe extra large. And I'm just going to cut into 4. And I'm going to do artisanal, meaning any old shape pizzas. I'm going to just put the dough together like this and plastic wrap the dough I'm not using. And just put it back in the bowl. And I'm going to do that. And I have to get out my semolina flour. Alright, so, and also all my ingredients. And this part of folding is unnecessary. I'm just doing it because I like them to be in kind of balls. And also the flours, the olive oils that's on the top goes into the center. So there's that. Anyway, I have to get these covered. And I don't have the plastic wrap ready for that, so I'm going to cut off right now. Okay, folks, so we're just going to make our first sort of medium-sized pizza. And I'm going to, I'm sorry, guys. Oh, no, guys and gals, folks, etc. You know, you could just do this by hand using gravity. You just want to get something going, but you don't want it to be all fat in the center. So I'm going to use the rolling pin out from the center, 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 out from from the center, out from the center. Just seems efficient to me to do this. And then you have, I have no more room. And then you can do the stretch, and you'll see the air bubbles in there. And we want to press down. And it doesn't have to be a circle, you know. And I kind of want this center to be thinner than the crust. And perhaps I should do this a little more. It should stretch because you have lots of gluten in the flour. Oh yeah, it's really in good shape. All right, that's kind of rectangles. Rectangles are good. By the way, the crust should puff up because I'm going to have the sauce in the center. So here's the deal with the parchment. I'm going to use the parchment to get it in and out of the oven. I'm also going to put the oven on broil. It's been on at 425 for 20 minutes and 350 before that. So we're going to, oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to flour this. Now you could use regular flour. It will burn and turn black, and you can dust it off before serving because it won't affect the flour. It won't affect the flavor. However, if you use semolina like this, it will be resistant to burning, and it will add a nice crust to the bottom. So let's put this back on here. I consider that a medium pizza. Like if you cut it in 4, that would be pizza slice number 1 out of, well, last night I made 6. So I'm gonna press down. And then I have my marinara I made. And I don't want to run out of it. So I'm just gonna put it to 1 inch to the edges. And this first pizza is gonna be the meat lovers. And it's something that we call all dressed here in my region. That's a short form for just put everything on it. Okay? So, I'm sure you can't see it. Anyway, if you put it, we should have a little rise on the crust if we leave space. Okay, now, because it's all dressed, and obviously you just add whatever you want. I'm gonna add some thinly sliced green peppers. I'm going to add some pepperoni. Just a little bit, 1, 2. This is dried pepperoni. And it has a great tang when cooked. Maybe I'll put one in the middle, one over here. And then I'm going to add some, I took the pieces out of the hot Italian sausages. I took the meat out. I made these little meatballs. And so remember, if you're cutting this way and that way, you want everyone to get some. Okay, then I have the mushrooms, which are a must for all dressed. And where are they? I can't find the mushrooms. I thought I had them. You know what? Not every pizza needs everything. Well, I gotta open this and turn the fan on. The boiler's up to up to speed. And that means can't find the mush. Oh, there's the mushrooms! Yay! Because you don't want to, my smoke fire detectors will go off. So every time I broil anything, so I just put a few mushrooms on, because the real goal here is to make it kind of like Eastern Ontario, all dressed. And this is all stringy mozzarella, Italian saputo, Italian stringy Italian mustard, mozzarella. And we want it to be nice and goopy. That's the goal for this one, but I have other goals for other pizzas. So let's just put it all in there. And just remember that the broiler is now on. In my case, it means 525 Fahrenheit. And you have to watch it. And then with my oven, the broiler means you leave the oven, 2 to 4 inches open. And it'll actually open to that amount. Okay, so I forgot the I didn't forget the semolina. Okay, so we're just gonna slide this in onto the steel, like that. And then we're going to put the timer on for 4 minutes, I'd say. Okay, then it's been 4 minutes under the broiler with the very hot steel. And we're gonna lift it out. And it looks really good. What do you think? Now I'll put that on a plank. That looks really good to me. That's their meat lovers pizza. Okay, I'm gonna turn the broiler off for now, until I make my next one. But I think your guests will really like it, like mine did. Okay, now we're going to make a vegetarian one that was really a big hit last night. Just gonna kind of get my dough into a nice shape. Maybe I won't roll it out this time. Thing is, I'm not really good at this part. So, So, perhaps I'll just use my fingers this time instead of the rolling. And of course, it'll make the dough thicker. And I'm not worried about that, except for I see these holes. So I don't want holes. I'm gonna take my hands. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add some dough. And therefore we won't have 4 pizzas, we'll have 3 for the purposes of this video, which is fine by me. We learn together. So that dough recipe really wants to make 3 kind of largish, like medium-sized ones. And I am going to roll this out now that I've combined the pieces, just to get a little bit of body. I like a little bit of body. Okay. And I'm not really worried about the shape, because this is rustico. So I have my parchment. I have my semolina, which is, as you notice, when I took that last pizza off, there was no burning. If you used flour, it would be blocked like charcoal. So I'm just gonna press down on my peel my makeshift peel, and I'm gonna use my palm to get a bit of a thicker, kind of buoyant crust this time. And you know what? Making 3 works because I actually made this marinara and used it on 6 pizzas, and I may not, last night, and I may not have enough for 4. So I'm going to do, so we have the meat lovers. Now I'm going to do artichokes and black olives with mozzarella and pecorino because I think the flavors go. And I'm going to add red onions to this one. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to add onions. I'm going to add mushrooms. And this will be, I don't know, it's something that appeals to me. So that's all good. Where are the mushrooms? Oh, there's the mushrooms. Da-da-da. They cook down quite easily and they make juice, so I don't want lots of them, but I like them. Then I have cut quarters of artichoke hearts from they're canned in water, not oil. I just don't like them in oil. And I took one and quartered it. Well, I took several and quartered it, but this is what's left over. And they're really good. And then we have our black olives, which gives that piquant flavor, a little bit of, these were not cured in, they're not cured in oil, they're also in water. I like cured black olives in oil, it's just too strong a flavor for this. Okay, so we have our mozzarella. We're gonna spread that around. And we're going to, oh, now it's time to put the broiler on. And it'll beep when it's ready, and I'll have to do that oven open 2 to 4 inches again. Some ovens don't require that. Okay, so now we have our pecorino, which I grated by hand. And I just think that it adds a good flavor to a pizza that's vegetarian. And that's all. I have lots left over. I have a lot of everything left over. I'll be making pizzas all week. Anyway, we've got the broiler on. We got the salmonella. Oh my God. Semolina. That's really all you want to know, right? Anyway, so here we go. And that's gonna go with the slightly opened door for 4 minutes. Okay, folks, this has been another 4 minutes. Pizza looks good. Try to get it out without burning yourself. And this is the Rustico. Oh shoot, I have to close the oven. Rustico artichoke heart, black olives, mushroom pizza. Quite beautiful. Gotta find a place to put it while I make the next one. Okay, folks, I want to do a margarita. I have enough sauce. I think I have enough sauce for one more. I don't know if you call that large or medium. But they're kind of medium large. So I'm going to use my quarter plus my 1/8 of dough here. I'm going to help myself by rolling it out a little bit and making sure, my rolling pin's kind of damp by now. So we're just gonna roll it, I don't want it really thin. I want to make some puffy crust. So I'm just gonna do it like that with the palm of my hand around with an 1-inch perimeter. And we're gonna make a margarita, but I'm gonna make it with mushrooms because I don't want to waste the mushrooms. Also, here's my last sheet. Well, it's not my last sheet of paper. I thought I was making 4. Ow! Okay. Gotta turn the broiler off. Now we're gonna use our semolina again on the paper. And you know what? The burning effect is practically 0. But even if you use regular flour, let's just go like this. Okay. Let's go like this. Like that. Okay. But that kind of, when the flour turns black, you just dust it off. You don't really need to, it won't stick to the pizza. So let's use the rest of my marinara. I feel like I'm running out of things, but that's kind of totally okay, because these are just videos to show you what you can do. So we're gonna marinara most of the base here, spread it out, and instead of, a margarita is not meant to be very cheesy. Use ricotta. And I'm gonna use big kind of teaspoon. I'm gonna make little balls of it and spread it like that. And because I have it's not really gonna be a pure margarita. It's just this plus fresh basil. But I have extra mushrooms, and I really love mushrooms. Oh, sorry, you didn't see it. Okay. So I want to season the ricotta. I'm just gonna add some pepper. Because ricotta is kind of bland, but my marinara has a lot of, it's perfectly seasoned with salt and pepper, and basil. Now we're gonna add the fresh basil leaves, like that. And they're gonna, you don't even have to, just let them go where they go. You don't have to be precise. You just want it to be, this adds flavor to the sauce. But I'm gonna add mushrooms and make it a kind of faux margarita. A faux-garita. So that's gonna be, is that good enough? What do we have left? Okay. And then I'm gonna put mushrooms on. So I'm making a faux-garita. Reason being, I love mushrooms. Obviously, the entire point of this exercise is to show you can make any kind of pizza you want. But a little bit, you know what? Let's put all the mushrooms in. And then let's put more. Let's just go. Let's be maximalist. Let's just put more smaller doms of ricotta onto the mushrooms, since we're not using mozzarella on this one. And this will be the second vegetarian one. And I want to turn the broiler back on. I want to season this with a little bit more pepper. And we shall see what happens. This is an experiment. I haven't done it this way before. Never. But that's the whole thing. The entire project is an experiment. Every time you do it. So here we go. Semolina's on the bottom. Shift it back onto your baking steel under broil. I keep my oven open 3 inches, and we'll be back and see you. Okay, loves, this is the embellished margarita pizza. And let's just see how it goes. It's embellished in the sense that I added mushrooms. Hold on, I need the paper to get onto my slip here. And I can't, obviously touch it. Oh, I gotta turn this off. Okay, where is it going? What is it doing? Wow, that's pretty. I should add some more basil leaves on top to make it even better. But I think that's quite gorgeous as a margarita with ricotta and mushrooms. Okay, we can close the oven down. That's done. And then we will move to our plancha for cutting. I love that.